Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and we're at Hamilton Southeastern, and I'm getting ready to interview Coach Chris Huppenthal. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about, you've already played a few games, and you played a few games and everything, so let's talk a little bit about how it's gone so far and some of the players.
Okay. Our first game we ended up losing in double overtime. We're playing a new style this year. We're trying to get out and play 84 feet and 50 feet wide and try and put some pressure on some teams. We're playing a lot of kids, and we're trying to run the basketball a little bit more offensively. So it's new for our kids. And I know in that first game we really had a tough time adjusting to it. We were very handsy and had a lot of fouls, and it ended up costing us in the game. In fact, we had 6 players foul out. But we've made some adjustments to it, and our kids really enjoy the style that we're playing and enjoy the up-tempo and have adjusted to it pretty well up to this point.
Well, that sounds good. Coach, let's talk a little bit about some of the players you have, because I think you have, what, 6 seniors, 5 seniors?
5 seniors. Bree Lloyd has been a 4-year star for us at the point guard position, has done a tremendous job for us this year. She really runs the offense and has accumulated quite a few assists as well. She shoots the ball really well. Hayden Braun has started for us the last 2 years, but we do have some talented younger kids, and she's had to take a role coming off the bench. And she has embraced that. She worked so hard this summer. Hayden's shooting the ball much better. Her energy coming off the bench is such a spark for us, where our stars go ahead and kind of get the game going, the tempo of the game going. Hayden comes in and doesn't miss a beat. She is really having a starter come off the bench, and that is a great commodity to have. And then Olivia Kegley also comes off the bench for us as a senior, and she's played quite a bit the last 2 years. She's a role player. She knows her role. She works really hard at trying to do all the little things for us. She's one of our better rebounders. She screens really well and plays tremendous defense, as well as she's a great leader. Kiki Sudling, same with her, has a lot of energy, comes off the bench as a senior, and again, defensively and doing the little things Kiki does well as Miranda Barksdale. This is her first role as a varsity basketball player, and again, Miranda kind of fits the bill. Those three, I kind of look at them very close and similar in that they do a lot of the little things that don't always get done, but they do a really, really good job, and they have to be done if the program's going to be successful.
Yeah, and that one of the things, like you said here, you have stars on basketball teams, but this is still a team sport. So it's very important that you establish the roles and those players accept the roles.
Exactly. I know people in football think it's the ultimate team sport, but I really believe this is the ultimate team sport. As I try and tell our kids, and I've made this analogy before, in football you give a kid a 70 uniform and he knows he's blocking for somebody. Yeah. You give him a 50, he knows he's probably a center. You give him they know their numbers based on, they know their position based on number. You get a kid a jersey in basketball, it means they're a shooter.
Yeah.
They're all shooters and they're all scorers. So we try to, as the season goes through, we try to let our kids know what we really need from them and how they can help our basketball program.
That sounds great. Now, I know we've talked about the seniors a little bit, and I know you happen to have some other good players on that basketball team.
Well, we do. We do. And the kids work hard. It started with our junior, Sarah Howard. I've told this story many times. When Sarah was a little girl, her dad came to me and said, I don't know if she'll ever help your program, but, she loves basketball. Well, she's playing varsity basketball for us right now as a sophomore and getting a lot of minutes, and again, high energy player for us. Shelby Ford, who moved in last year, came to us from Tinley. Took her a little bit of time to get acclimated to things, but again, Shelby's coming in and providing some minutes off the bench for us. And we've got a bunch of sophomores who contributed last year as freshmen. Tay Irvin, who's very lengthy. We use her at the top of our press. Maya Hamilton, who helps us down low and inside. Molly Walton, who backs up point guard position, but also is a pretty decent shooter. And Malia Jackson, who's playing one of the wings for us right now, and had a tremendous game this past Saturday. And those 4 kids have really grown up this past year, and we're looking for big things for them the rest of the way.
Now, don't you also have a freshman that plays for you too?
It seems everybody wants to talk about Sydney. She is she's very talented, but if you watch Sydney works at what she has, and she's done a great job for us this year, fitting in, and it's kind of been a slow transition for her, in that we do have some talented kids. When you come in, and she's a smart kid, she knows that she knew that she was going to have to find out where she fit, and she's kind of tried to bring herself along slow, but she fits in pretty well.
Yeah, because that question's been asked to me many times about have I seen Sydney play yet, and I have not, so I had to ask that. But I understand she's a good ball player. But you have a lot of good ball players on your team. I mean, like you said, Bree Lloyd started for 4 years for your team, so she's an outstanding player too.
Yes, and again, it's now trying to get those kids to find their roles and what's going to help make us successful, and not necessarily them. As I try and all coaches are like this, and I know Coach Satterfield will tell you the same thing. If we are able to make a tournament run, the individual accolades will take care of themselves. But it's when you get bounced out of the tournament early that those things kind of fall by the wayside, and you don't get the recognition you should. So if we can go ahead and do some damage in February, everybody will get their just due. But we got to take care of that first.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the schedule we got coming up here from here to the first of the year, because you have the one thing about it, playing in Hamilton County and playing in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, there's not easy games.
There's not, and I know you would like to look ahead. I'm focused on Brownsburg right now. Brownsburg is a very quick, athletic team, and I know the record is not as good as they probably want it, or as good as some people might think it should be. But they're athletic, and they will cause us problems if we do not go ahead and take care of the basketball. They have some kids that can score. The Olmsted girl is a senior, and she is a very, very good and talented basketball player. And they have some freshmen on their team too. They're very good, and they have a junior. Her name escapes me right now, but number 21, I see it visually, but she's very quick, very athletic. The Harris girl is a freshman, same thing, quick and athletic. So we are going to have to keep the basketball in front of us tomorrow night. We're going to have to block out. We're going to have to take care of the boards, because we are a little bit bigger than them. If we're able to do those things, we should be okay. But you never know from night to night what your kids are going to do.
Absolutely, because you're talking about student athletes. They're from the ages of 15 to 18, so it's sometimes you really they sometimes are up and down and everything. But like you said, you have to take it one game at a time, and you have to play your game. We do,
and we're gonna try and do that. I feel we can put some pressure on them, and if we're able to put some pressure on them, it might get them to turn the basketball over. And anytime you're able to get a team to turn it over, it gives you a better opportunity to be successful. So part of it, we're going to try and speed them up some and see if we can get them to play at a faster tempo. And something we talked about when we went to Fort Wayne Saturday was we talked about our girls starting the race. Don't wait for somebody else to join the race. Start the race and just start running. And we're going to need to do that on Tuesday if we're able to be successful.
One of the things that I've seen of obviously you have to play an entire basketball game, but always the first quarter, the first 5 minutes, and the start of the third quarter, the first 5 minutes are big time key times in a ball game, and kind of setting a tempo. But you have to play the entire ball game.
Exactly. We've talked to our kids in the past, especially you come out halftime. First 3 minutes is going to be critical, especially in a tight game or in a game that you might be behind. And that was the case against Fort Wayne. We were down 1. And we thought the first 3 minutes of the second half were going to be critical, and they were. And then in that first 3 minutes, we were able to go from a 1-point deficit to a 6-point lead. And from there, we were able to build on some things. But coming out of the gate fast is it's something coaches always want, but it's not something that always happens. Right. And then you got to try to muddle your way through a game and try and make adjustments, and hopefully your kids are able to adjust and see what happens. Absolutely,
Coach. Well, I appreciate you. I know you have a busy schedule here, but I really appreciate you taking time out and talking to us here on Hamilton County TV, Hometown Network, and I'm sure we got some games coming up that will be here, and also we'll see you on the road, so we appreciate you taking time out to talk to us today. Thanks a lot, Coach.
No problem. Thanks for taking the time out and coming out here and interviewing me.
Thank you.